Well, turning now to matters presidential here in France. Even though he hasn't yet declared his candidacy, opinion polls suggest that Emmanuel Macron is widening his lead on his closest rivals less than 3 months before voters cast their ballots. Our Foreign Affairs editor, Philip Turle, is here in studio with me with an update on how things are currently shaping up. It's looking good for Macron. He hasn't yet declared that he's going to run. But tell us, how do things stand now? Opinion polls are saying that he's widening that lead on his rivals without having even said that he's going to run himself.
Yeah, I think this is the question that everybody's wondering in France about, and they're all asking when Macron is going to declare his candidacy. Just a reminder, the elections are due to take place in April, 2 rounds as normal in France. First one will be on Sunday, April the 10th, where there will be many candidates, and the top 2 candidates from the first round will fight it out in a second round, which will take place on the 24th of April. Now, at the moment, we still, as you were saying, don't know whether Emmanuel Macron is going to be a candidate. If you look back at previous presidential elections, he still has some wriggle room left before he's going to be pushed to announce that candidacy. Back in 1988, François Mitterrand, when he ran for a second term, didn't declare his candidacy until 33 days before the first round of the presidential election. So for Emmanuel Macron, that would be the 10th of March this year. François Mitterrand was then elected for a second round, a second term in office. In 2002, Jacques Chirac announced his candidacy 69 days before the first round. That would be the equivalent of the 4th of February this year. And in 2012, Nicolas Sarkozy announced his candidacy 67 days before the first round. That would be the 6th of February. So what the pundits are saying in France at the moment is that Emmanuel Macron probably won't wait until only 30 days before the poll, but he could announce his candidacy probably sometime early in February, within the next 2 weeks or so. So if you look at the opinion polls right now that you were just mentioning, yes, it's true that Emmanuel Macron is running at the top. He's increased his lead overall. He's now running on 25% of opinions, favourable opinions amongst voters in France. In second place, a tie between Marine Le Pen of the far-right National Rally and Valérie Pecresse of the Republican Party. That was the party of Jacques Chirac and Nicolas Sarkozy, both on 17%. Éric Zemmour, the far-right candidate, on 11.5%. And then on the left, Jean-Luc Mélenchon of the far-left France Unbowed on 10%. Yannick Jadot of the Greens on 6.5%, and Anne Hidalgo of the Socialist Party on 3%. Now, if it is, for example, in the second round, Emmanuel Macron and Valérie Pécresse who get through after winning the first round, then Emmanuel Macron will win by 52% to 48% for Valérie Pécresse. And if it's Marine Le Pen, Emmanuel Macron will also win with 57% over 43%. So it looks for the moment, unless there's going to be a major upset, that Emmanuel Macron, although he's not candidate, is still destined for a second term in office when and if he announces his candidacy.
But he has a lot on his plate at the moment, doesn't he, Philip? Do you think his stint as head of the rotating European Council presidency will affect his campaign?
Well, a lot of people are saying he decided to push ahead with that rotating presidency, even though it's taking place during an election period, because he wants to bolster his image as the head of state, the world statesman on the world stage, dealing with not only the European Union, but also with the crisis in Ukraine. He's trying to get onto the negotiating table between Vladimir Putin on one side and Joe Biden on the other. Remember back in 2008, Nicolas Sarkozy intervened and saw his opinion poll bounce upwards after he came on and tried to work out a solution between the war between Georgia and Russia. So Emmanuel Macron is hoping to take advantage of his presidency of the European Council at the moment to try to increase his standing. And French people like to see their leaders on the world stage sorting out big geopolitical problems. So that's what Emmanuel Macron is trying to take advantage of right now.
So that's the international context. Coming back to what's happening here in France, what are his main challenges, and also talk us through some of his achievements over the past 5 years?
Right, well, there's good news and bad news. Now, the good news is that unemployment is down by 13% in France for the whole of 2021. That's excellent news for the government. That's probably mostly explained by the post-COVID economic boom. Best figure since 2012, so something Emmanuel Macron will obviously use to argue for another term in office. The economic growth is also up nearly 7%, which is an incredible increase from -8 in 2020, which means a record for French growth for the first time in 52 years. But on the bad side, there are price increases left, right and centre. Energy prices are up, petrol prices are up, food prices are up. People are in the streets demonstrating yesterday in France about the fact they can't make ends meet anymore. They want an increase in salaries. So the government is handing out money left, right and centre to many people around the country. It's given out bonuses on the use of vehicles. It's given out government inflation checks of €100 to at least 30 million people around the country. It's frozen the prices of gas and electricity. Many people are saying, look, they're giving out handouts and more handouts of the government. Are they in fact trying to buy the election off the public by saying we're doing all we can to bring down prices? But in fact, it's not solving the problem. And that is, how is France going to make ends meet if prices of gas and electricity and fuel keep going up and up and up over the coming months?
Mixed bag then, Philip. It doesn't seem to be affecting Macron standing in the polls to date. Philip Turle, thanks for joining us.